but you can't argue with the fee revenue. TradFi reimagined under Web3. Now, apparently these problems and the gap are being addressed. If you're the NASDAQ, the price is going through the roof. Is that it is fast and cheap. Tokenomics designed by Sam Bankman-Fried.
Their losses are our gains.
Am I going to be selling those tokens? No.
And so we needed to make certain opinionated trade-offs.
I did not see that coming at all. How's it going? Cameron here with another The Good, The Bad and The Ugly. This time we're looking at Solana. Quick disclaimer, I do hold a position in Solana and nothing in this video is financial advice. It is purely educational content. Please consult a trained financial advisor before making any investment decision. Right, starting off with the good. The first good thing about Solana is its co-founder, Anatoly Yakovenko. Researching this video, I watched a lot of interviews with Anatoly, and it gave me a feel for what kind of person he is. Positive, relaxed, fun, doesn't take himself too seriously.
Who are you?
Co-founder of Solana. It's mediocre snowboarder.
I got AI to count how many times Anatoly laughed in that video. Yeah, it couldn't actually do it, but it did point out that the host mentioned that he laughed a lot, and it then told me to watch the whole video and listen out for the laughs myself. The point being that he has a very likable personality. You can't but help warm to him. He's got a great backstory as a founder. He's just a cool guy. Why does all of that matter? Well, I think all of that package translates into some very effective influencing skills at the C-suite. I've heard other influencers on YouTube dismiss Solana as a serious layer one. It's the home for meme coins, for shitcoins, for pump and dump schemes, all of which is true. But remarkably, despite that, there are institutional players, MasterCard, Visa, Stripe, PayPal, building out infrastructure on Solana. Now, how does that happen? I'll tell you how that happens. Someone at Solana has got some pretty useful soft selling skills in the back pocket. Anatoly. The next good thing about Solana is that it is winning amongst all the smart contract platforms for users, transactions, and most importantly, fee revenue. Now, yes, some of those users will be bots, and some of those transactions will just be wash trading, but you can't argue with the fee revenue. And Solana has been winning that game for the past 22 months. For institutional investors, fee revenue is the thing that matters most. The next good thing about Solana is that it is fast and cheap, and that is perfect for things like high frequency trading, agentic workflow, and stable coins. And those three things on their own present a massive opportunity for the Solana ecosystem. Stablecoin issuance on the Solana blockchain is growing faster than any other platform, although it was from quite a low base. And as far as AI agents are concerned, they're not going to care about cypherpunk ideals. They're just going to choose the smart contract platform which is the fastest and the cheapest. They're just concerned with optimizing, and Solana is one of the fastest and cheapest, although they're likely to get some stiff competition in that area from the likes of Base and Sui. The next good thing about Solana is Firedancer. Up until now, Solana has been flying along on one engine, and if that engine blew up, the Solana plane would crash, as evidenced by all of those outages that you saw over recent years. Now with Firedancer, Solana has two engines, so if one of the engines blows up, it can still fly just as well with the one engine. What is Firedancer exactly? It's another execution client on the Solana blockchain. You can think of it as a whole nother team separate from the first one that does the work of maintaining the blockchain. The more clients that you have, the less chance there is of there being outages. The probability of having both teams down at the same time is very low. With Firedancer, Solana has more reliability. With more reliability comes more blue chip builders. Speaking of technical improvements, that brings me to the next good thing, Alpenglow. Alpenglow is a step change improvement in terms of consensus. The big benefits to users will be faster finality and a higher probability of transactions actually being fulfilled instead of just failing. And it should be live on mainnet this year. The last good thing about Solana is Memecoins. Solana has established itself as the go-to chain for meme coin ecosystems like Pump.Fun. Why is that a good thing? Purely because of the network effects that meme coins bring. Half of the battle with a layer 1 is to get the user base, and Memecoins has established that for Solana with zero marketing spend, and that cannot be underestimated. The meme coin craze is almost a year behind us now, but still Pump.Fun pulls in a whopping $50 million of revenue per month. Clearly the demand for meme coins is still there, and if retail come back to crypto, meme coins are going to go through the roof. Solana is the chain that will probably benefit the most. And now we come to the bad. Okay, the first bad thing about Solana is meme coins. Yeah, meme coins are both a good and bad thing. The big problem with meme coins is the insiders have a big advantage over the outsiders. Particularly those big influencer-led ones. You know the ones I'm talking about where they start talking about the coin just before a massive token unlock. Oh, look at that! The price is going through the roof and now it's crashing down again because all the insiders sold their tokens. I did not see that coming at all. The bad thing about meme coins is the scammy, spammy side of them, which is neither good for crypto or the chains that host them. And that brings me to the next bad thing, in that whilst Solana's revenue is more than any other chain, when you look at the types of dApps that are pulling in that revenue, is predominantly meme coins, 62%. And when you look at revenue broken down by dApp, Pump.Fun is bringing in 3 times more than any other dApp. Just like for a traditional business, you wouldn't want to have all your revenue coming from one sector or one particular customer. You don't really want all your revenue just coming from meme coins and Pump.Fun. Diversification, that is the way. And now we come to the tokenomics, which are, well, bad. Only 1.6% of the initial allocation went to the general public, most of it going to VCs and insiders, which in terms of fair launch tokenomics would put it in last place alongside Sui. And in case you're not familiar with the tokenomics fair launch hierarchy, it goes Tau, Ethereum, Aptos, tokenomics designed by Sam Bankman-Fried, Satan Coin, Sui and Solana. The good news is that most of the inflation is now behind us, so provided you continue to stake your Solana, you should be able to offset that inflation. That brings me to the next bad thing about Solana, and that its Validator count is collapsing from 1,900 in 2022 to just under 800 today. That's a more than 50% decline. Now 800 is still okay and better than many other layer 1s. What might become a sticking point is where the validators are. 17% of those validators are in America, whereas a whopping 73% of the validators are in Europe. Why is that a problem? Well, one of the visions of Solana is the tokenization of real-world assets. But I can't seriously see the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, issuing real-world assets on the Solana blockchain if most of the validators are not in America. The political message will be we can't allow Europe to control American markets. So Solana has a bit of a hurdle to overcome there if it's going to tokenize American real-world assets. And now we come to the ugly. For the ugly, I've got one word, Hyperliquid. And it's not just that Hyperliquid is smashing Solana perp stacks, which it is right now. It's more what Hyperliquid represents. A custom-built, dedicated to one thing, layer 1 blockchain. And there are reasons why that might be a better solution for other DeFi areas than simply just building out on a generalist chain. To understand the problem, let's first look at why Solana is currently being beaten on perps. In this video that came out on Solana Floor last week, which goes into a lot more detail of what I'm about to tell you now, basically it all boils down to this. Solana is a generalist blockchain. It tries to be a bit of everything for everyone. Whereas Hyperliquid, on the other hand, their blockchain is streamlined for one thing and one thing only, to deliver an amazing perps experience. And that experience is really tight spreads, deep liquidity, and sub-second transaction finality that would rival the likes of the NASDAQ. But the Solana ecosystem perp decks can't compete with this because they can't get the market makers they need to have tight spreads and deep liquidity. And there's three reasons why they can't get them. First of all, order and consistency. Slight changes between blocks in the terms of the rules means that there's no consistency there for the market makers to bring serious capital. The second of those is cancel priority. Market makers have their orders shut down, they get frustrated and they just leave. And the third one is fees. Solana operates a model of tips and priority fees, but that just adds a level of opacity for market makers and it makes it even harder to make a profit and justify being there. These three problems all compound each other, and the problems got so bad that one perps founder on Solana has given up building on the main chain and is now going down the sidechain route.
And so we needed to make certain opinionated trade-offs.
Now, apparently these problems and the gap are being addressed, according to this report by Thomas Bahamas on Solana Floor.
And the perps gap is being addressed. We've got the big dogs Mert and Toly that are in the arena building their own vibe-coded products, Percolator and Check Price, to help win this battle. We have the technical debt being addressed by upgrades to the network and protocols. Firedancer is live on mainnet. Alpenglow is coming and makes Solana 100x faster to finality. Jito's BAM makes transaction ordering private and programmable, which is what market makers need to post competitive quotes. Bullet, Flash Trade, Bulk. There's an arms race right now of teams building perps infrastructure, and it's time to play catch up.
So it's good to know that there's some hope there on the horizon. But here's the ugly bit for me. Even if Hyperliquid stays in perps and doesn't spread into spot trading or FX or on-chain real-world assets, and that's a big if because it could well do, the Hyperliquid story has demonstrated to everyone that you don't need to be on a generalist blockchain to win. If you're the NASDAQ, why would you choose to build out on a generalist chain like Solana when you can just follow Hyperliquid's example and just build your own custom chain? That way, you get to control everything yourself. And control is the key word here for TradFi, because yes, TradFi will want to build out their own custom chains so that they can streamline the technical side of things for their users and offer the best experience. But more importantly, and this is a philosophical reason, by building out their own custom blockchains, they retain 100% control of things like block size, fees, cancellation priority, MEV, how validation works, how many validators are required, where those validators are located, and so on and so on. Because I know these TradFi people and they won't want to give up the governance around those things, the ability to be able to set the terms for themselves. If they give that up to a generalist blockchain like Solana, they are at the mercy of whatever governance is going on in the ecosystem at that time. And that has to cater for meme coins, NFTs, DePIN, real world assets, and so on and so forth. And look, this is not just a challenge for Solana, it's a challenge for all the big generalist layer ones. Doing this video has fundamentally challenged the way that I think about generalist layer one blockchains. Up until now, I've bought into that idea that there's a war on between Ethereum, Sui, Solana, insert your favorite layer one here, to become the execution and settlement layer of Web3. And that eventually somebody would win, or they'd win in a particular sector and they would take over that market. But there is a second alternative to that, which I hadn't considered, which I should have, given that Hyperliquid's been screaming it out at the top of its voice. What if instead of having generalist blockchains take up the market, what we see instead is thousands or millions of custom-made blockchains that tailor to very specific market niches. The Hyperliquid of spot trading, the Hyperliquid of on-chain tokenized real estate, the Hyperliquid of Pokemon trading cards, whatever it is. If you're a big TradFi name, what do you really get out of building on a generalist layer one? Like, what's in it for them? Access to more customers? I mean, they've already got loads of customers already, and they're very well-established brands. Immediate access to a decentralized blockchain that's already set up and ready to go. I'm not convinced that TradFi really cares that much about decentralization. In fact, it might be seen as a negative, not a positive. Whatever selling points there are for TradFi to be on layer one, I think there's better reasons for them to be on their own blockchains, and Hyperliquid has just shown them that it's more than possible. So where does that leave us? As I said at the top of the video, I own a decent position in Solana. It's actually my third biggest holding after Tau and Bitcoin. Am I going to be selling those tokens? No, not in the short term. I'm going to be watching and monitoring to see whether or not the hypothesis I just described begins to play out. If we see TradFi announcing their own blockchains, then yeah, I'm going to take that as a signal that it likely will play out. And even if it did play out, there are still other bullish narratives around Solana. Stablecoins, for one, will exist on these generalist layer 1s, that I'm sure, and provided that Solana catches a mere fraction of that market, it should provide a decent return. I'm also very bullish about the Solana developer community, and I'm expecting a lot of innovation. It'll be TradFi reimagined under Web3, and they will create products that no one has ever thought of. And there's definitely an opportunity for that kind of innovation to draw value to the Solana blockchain. And of course, they've still got Anatoly, and he's got a few shots to fire yet, I'm sure. If you enjoyed this Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I also did this format for Sui, Ethereum, and Bitenza. In fact, they're some of my best performing videos, so do check them out. If you're interested in the best simple moving average for Solana, I've just added it to my dedicated backtesting simple moving average tool, which is available for anyone that joins my Discord. It features things like rolling window and walk forward testing, and it's quite unique. I haven't seen many other apps or anything like it. I'll leave a link to that down below. Right, that's it from me. If you got some value out of this video, please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.